Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to the Most High, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakakwadash. I want to give double honors to the elders and apostles at Great Millstone that taught me this truth and rule well. And I want to say shalom to you Akim and Akwat out there pursuing this truth diligently. Coming at you once again with another lesson. Alright, today we're starting it up from, the pagan holiday up to the world, alright, known as Christmas, alright, Saturnalia, Yule, okay, a day of, debauchery, witchcraft, alright, and idol worship, alright, and idolization of false gods, okay. Now, that's what it is to the world, alright. To us, it's just another day, alright. To us, it's a day, alright, another day. We have a day off to make lessons, alright. If you brothers, aren't working through the season, or, or if you have jobs, or however your situation is, alright. Some brothers may have the day off, some brothers may not. Some brothers, maybe on breaks, hey, everybody's different, alright. And it's also, a day to dread looking at your damn phone, man. All right, that's another what thing it is. All right, man, and you know what I'm talking about. All right, I woke up this morning with a notification on my phone, and I already knew what that shit was about, man. I was like, God damn, because you know how your family's gonna be. All right, they're still stuck in it. All right, stuck in that that wickedness. All right, because they didn't wake up. All doing all sorts of abomination. For example, I just got a text from my mom. All right, she did the traditional, Mary, what, all right, and you just say, thanks, thanks, like, go, thanks, have a good day, like, try to, get around it without having to wish them, a pagan holiday, a good pagan holiday, just tell them to have a good day in general, all right, and then she messaged back and, small talk, and I was trying to get off the topic of, talking about that, and I was just asking if they're planning food, and what are they having? They're having ham, mashed potatoes, and gravy, and so on and so forth, and food. All right, so there you go, an abominable meal for an abominable holiday. All right, and that's usually what it is, the Christmas ham. But hey, man, this all goes back. All right, you call it what you will. All right, Yule, Christmas, Saturnalia. It really goes back to Saturnalia. That's what we're going to be getting in today, Lord's will. All right, so hey, Lord willing, this lesson, Lord willing, Salakia, if I could get my mouth together. All right, Lord willing, this lesson will be edifying. All right, hey, and give you some foresight. All right, or some history insight. All right, into where this wicked abomination of a holiday really comes from. Now we got this guy, Religion for Breakfast. He looks, probably an Edomite. All right. More than likely an Edomite, but he goes in this video about 13 minutes. I don't know if we're gonna watch it all. All right, but we got lots of stuff. All right, lots of history, lots of pictures. All right, scriptures. All right, diving into really proving that this holiday that's so-called Christian. All right, that's made Christmas, and what's the day supposed to be? Oh, your day where you worship Christ. All right, well, one, we don't worship Christ. All right, that's a false name. All right. And the other thing was, Yahweh Shai, which is his true name. All right, the son's name is really Yahweh Shai. All right, and he's not white; he's a so-called black man. All right, Yahweh Shai was born during the time of the Passover. All right, in spring, not this. All right, but we're gonna find out where December 25th comes from. All right, as we go on. All right, I believe I still have that up. All right, where the whole winter solstice celebration comes into play. All right, so hey, without any further ado, we're gonna go ahead and start it up. All right, let me go ahead and start with a scripture. All right, because I don't feel right if I don't start with it, right off the bat with a scripture. Let's get Jeremiah 10:1, and we're gonna reread it after, but we're gonna start up with it as well. Jeremiah 10:1 through 10:5. Hear ye the word of the Lord speaketh unto you, O house of Israel. Who's Israel? Israel is referring to you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, all right, of the respective tribes of Israel, all right? And I'll show you that, all right? Let's go here. Here you go. These are the 12 tribes of Israel, all right? So when we say so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, well, you got the southern kingdom, all right, which is, made up of so-called Negroes, All right, so you got Judah, which are Negroes, American Negroes, as you would say. All right, the so-called black people over here. All right, is what and this isn't definitive either. All right, you can look like a so-called Mexican, like a Mexican would go to Issachar. All right, so-called Mexican would go to Issachar, but you can look like a so-called Mexican and actually go to Judah. All right, myself, I look like a so-called white man. All right, but through my dad's line, all right, we would be Issachar. All right, supposedly, as you would assume, all right, but I believe we go back to Judah. All right, and it has been what's the word? It has been, damn, what's the word I'm looking for? It's been not expounded upon. It's been that's been recognized by other people as well. All right, I think now you gotta be Judah. All right, so hey, and through the Spirit, I believe I'm part of the house of Judah. All right, through the tribe of Judah. But hey, at the end of the day, we're all Judah. All right, we're all Judah at the end of the day, technically. Okay, so because what does Judah mean? It means praise. The Most High. All right, praise the Most High. If you look up Judah meaning, let's just say praised. All right, but it doesn't mean that. Like the word Yahweh. Here, well, that'll give it to us. Yahweh meaning. All right, Lord's praise. All right, Lord's praise, or praise the Lord. All right, praise. So let's see. I believe this is just gonna give you Judah. Let me see. Yeah, Judah. All right, so I'm not just gonna say Yahweh. Let's see. I want to see something. It might not have the compounds, but see. Let's see. Yahweh. Let's see. Bear with me. I want to see if we can get it. There's one that gives you a rough breakdown. I don't know if we're going to be able to find it. I've seen it before. See here. So do is da. So we really had it. We're not gonna. That's that's really when it goes into a compound. So, but anyway, back to the point. All right, what Yahweh means. All right, and Yahweh is, the Paleo-Hebrew name of Judah. All right, and it says the Lord's praise. Praise the Most High. All right, that's what it means. Okay, if I'm incorrect, the brother can correct me on that. All right, but that's what the name means. But going back to the tribe, that's why I'm saying, before people, we all go back to Judah. It's been told by our apostles. All right, that doesn't, it's, technically we all come from that. Yes, technically all tribes are Judah. Okay, but we have the individual tribes. Okay, so Southern Kingdom, the so-called Negroes would be Judah, Benjamin, and Levi. Judah being the Negroes, the so-called Negroes. Benjamin being the West Indians. Levi, Haitians. All right, so West Indians, you over on them islands. All right, and then you got the Northern Kingdom, which is so-called Latinos and Native Americans. All right, you got Simeon, so-called Dominicans. Zebulon, the so-called Guatemalans, the Panamanians. Ephraim, all right, the so-called Puerto Ricans. Manasseh, all right, the so-called Cubans. Gad, all right, is the so-called Native Americans, all right, North American Indians. Reuben, Seminole Indians, so-called. Naphtali, all right, the so-called Argentinian to Chileans. Asher, the so-called Colombians or Uruguayans, and Issachar, the so-called Mexicans. Slovakia. So, and that's not always going to be definitive. Like I said, all right, you might have some people such as I myself that look like a so-called white person, all right, but back, through the spirit, all right, you can tell they're an Israelite. All right, you might have, like I said, it can come in multiple different ways. You can have white-looking people that go back to Judah, white-looking people that go back to Manasseh, all right, white-looking people that go back to Gad, all right. You can have Issacharite looking, and I'll use the worldly terms so you can better understand. And so-called Mexican-looking people that go back as Judah, all right, or Benjamin or Levi, all right. You might have some Asian-looking people that go back to Ephraim. Hey man, it's all you got to judge through the spirit, man. Okay, if you can fully get this truth and understanding, that means you're an Israelite. Okay, there ain't no doubt about it. Okay, but we went on that, so now you know who House of Israel is speaking to. And it was a little bit of a tangent, but hey, a little bit longer of a lesson never hurt no one. I just don't want to get too off topic. Okay, so this is Jeremiah 10:1 through 10:5, and it reads, "Hear ye the word which the Lord speaketh unto you, O house of Israel." All right, so now you know who Israel is speaking to. All right, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. All right, everybody in this tribe. All right, O house of Israel, this is you. Okay, this is you. All right, there you go, and you can pause it on that. All right, you can look up GMS 12 tribe sign on Google, and it should bring it up to you. All right, it says, "Hear ye the word which the Lord speaketh unto you, O house of Israel. Thus saith the Lord, learn not the way of the heathen." So who are the heathens? All right, the heathens are anybody that aren't in this list. All right, so the Moabites, the Ammonites. All right, Moabites are so-called Chinese. Ammonites are so-called Japanese. All right, Elamites. All right, the so-called Indian people. The red dot Indians. You got the who else? Magog, all right, the Russians, so-called Russians, all right, Esau, so-called white people, all right, so-called white man, all right, and there's different flavors of Esau, all right. You got the Amalek, all right, which are the small hats, all right, the so-called Jewish people, all right. No, they are Jewish, all right, but so-called us's, all right. I'll say because I don't want to. It might even flag the video for just saying the other one with the ish on the end of it, but hey. So you got Esau, Amalek, Magog, which are all, would be all so-called white people, but they're different. Okay, and then you got Ishmael, all right, the so-called, Middle Easterners, all right, the so-called Arabs, all right. So, and so on and so forth, man, all right, so on and so forth. But those would be the heathens, all right, and really it's just heathens, anyone who's not of the house of Israel, okay. So it says, "Thus saith the Lord, learn not the way of the heathen." All right, so don't learn the customs of Ammonites, and all right, if they're going and worship or Ammon or Moab, all right, worshiping Buddha, all right, and rubbing the belly of a golden idol, all right, you're not supposed to learn the ways of them, okay? You're not supposed to learn their ways. Okay, if you got, them doing, some crazy, weird, abominable shit, you're not supposed to learn their ways. All right, learn not the way of the heathen. All right, but here in Babylon the Great, all right, aka America, all right, there a lot of heathen cultural norms have gone out. All right, and now it's normal to celebrate all this wicked, abominable shit. All right, so-called Christmas. All right, Saturnalia, Yule. All right, Samhain, all right, or aka Halloween, all right. All these different holidays. These are heathen customs, all right. They're not our customs. We have our days, all right. These heathens have theirs, all right. But a lot of you, Jake, is too busy. You don't want to keep the Passover, all right. You don't want to keep a Day of Atonement, all right. You don't want to do none of that, but you want to celebrate Halloween, all right, or Valentine's Day, all right, or Mother's Day, or Father's Day. All right, or Christmas, or your birthday, all right, and there's the heathen customs, all right. Birthdays, I believe that goes back to Greek moon goddess worships, so-called, all right, so-called moon god, because there ain't no such thing, all right, but that's what it goes back to, all right. That's why the cakes are moon shaped, okay. So that's a heathen custom. All these are heathen customs, all right. And you as Israelite, all right, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans that are on this sheet, all right, on this image right here, all right. You're not to be worshiping none of that. You're not to be partaking in any of that. All right. We have our own feast days. All right, set up by the Lord. All right, such as not a feast day, but like holidays. All right, which holiday comes from what? Holy day. All right, and you turned it and made it into something abominable. Okay, a holy day. All right, a holiday, as you would call it. All right, what's the word I want to call it? A high holy day, as we call it. All right, would be something such as Passover. Okay, So hey, you don't show any reverence on those days, or you don't even acknowledge them on those days. Okay, but you're quick to wrap up presents and bow down to a fucking tree. All right, thus saith the Lord, learn not the way of the heathen, and be not dismayed at the signs of heaven, for the heathen are dismayed at them. For the customs of the people are vain. For one, now this is going to sound real familiar. For the customs of the people are vain. For one cutteth a tree out of the forest, the work of the hands of the workmen with the axe. They deck it with silver and gold. They fasten it with nails and with hammers, that it move not. They are upright as the palm tree, but speak not. They must needs be born, because they cannot go. Be not afraid of them, for they cannot do evil, neither also is it in them to do good. Now I'm curious. All right, I want to go to the Good News translation. All right, and I want to see what it says. What was it, through 5? All right, through 5. Let's see what it has to say, man. It says, people of Israel, listen to the message that the Lord has for you. He says, do not follow the ways of the other nations. Do not be disturbed by unusual sights in the sky, even though the other nations are terrified. And that's heavy, actually, because that's like unusual sights in the sky can be used. This is speaking of the signs of the time, all right, the signs of heaven. But in the way it puts it, like here, all right, one of the signs of the heavens is the chariots, all right. But the way you put it right here, the way they put it in the Good News translation, it really makes you think of a chariot. Okay, it says, even though the other nations are terrified, the religion of these people is worthless. A tree is cut down in the forest. It is carved by the tools of the woodworker. It is decorated with silver and gold. It's fastened down with nails to keep it from falling over. Such idols are like scarecrows in a field of melons. They cannot speak. They have to be carried because they cannot walk. Do not be afraid of them. They can cause you no harm, but they can do you no good. All right. So, hey, there you go. Now, and that should sound very familiar, man. All right. Obviously, speaking of a Christmas tree. Now, we're going to go over here. Let me go ahead and pause this music. Okay, and we're going to watch a little bit of this video and see what he has to say about it. All right, and we'll pick to the bones. All right, and I got, multiple things we're going to pick out through here. There's going to be some other information, not even, we might touch on things that aren't even, Christmas related. I believe he mentioned slaves in here at one point, and that's a topic, that could be a whole lesson by itself, but we'll get into it here. Like I said, I ain't got nothing better to do, so hey, let's go ahead and grab it. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and play this video.
Saturnalia is probably the most famous Roman holiday, which may have something to do with its proximity to Christmas. But what is Saturnalia? Quick summary, Saturnalia was the Roman festival of the god Saturn. It began on December 17th with a mass public sacrifice at the Temple of Saturn.
So there you go. First and foremost, Slocky, let me scoot in. First and foremost, right off the bat, worship of Saturn, all right? And it talks about a mass sacrifice that goes down. Okay, so there you go.
Followed by several days of feasting, gambling, drinking, and most notably, the role reversal between slaves and slave owners.
A bunch of debauchery.
A holiday when slaves were encouraged to dine with their slavers, talk back to them, and even make them serve the slaves. But I want to make this video more comprehensive than a simple summary. We know a lot about Saturnalia, but no single Roman source describes the festival in its entirety. So we need to piece together our picture of Saturnalia from different sources. In this video, I'll be citing from these Roman sources. I put them in roughly chronological order here, and I'll cite them throughout the video. A few notes about our sources. Notice that these guys span 500 years of history. It's pretty naive to assume that Catullus, who was growing up in the 1st century BCE, was celebrating Saturnalia the exact same way that Macrobius was in the 5th century. Even the length of the festival changed throughout its history. In the time of Catullus, it lasted 7 days until December 23rd, but then was shortened to 3 days before the Emperor Caligula extended it to 4 or 5 days. So any summary of Saturnalia is an imperfect reconstruction based on what time period we're talking about, or based on what location we're talking about. Also notice that these dudes are mostly super elite members of society. Yes, Epictetus was a former slave, Lucian was born into a middle-class family, but many of these guys were the 1% of Roman society. So take their perspectives with a healthy dose of skepticism, especially when they're talking about the experiences of their own slaves. But let's get into it.
Just as now, man. Just as now they make it seem like, oh, you know, they had it good. No, man, these slaves had it fucked up. All right.
Norms was the central theme of Saturnalia. In his poem on the holiday, the poet Lucian has Saturn pronounce, "During my week, the serious is barred. No business is allowed. Drinking and..."
Bear with me one moment here. Bear with me one moment. All right, Slovakia.
Being drunk, noise...
So let's roll back just a little bit.
Holiday, the poet Lucian has Saturn pronounce, "During my week, the serious is barred. No business is allowed. Drinking and being drunk, noise and games of dice, appointing of kings, and feasting of slaves."
Another thing that they don't mention, there was a lot of orgies going down, all right? But they don't like telling you that. There's a lot of orgies, okay?
So you were encouraged to break from your normal social inhibitions, drinking games, dancing naked, and gambling, which was usually forbidden in public.
See?
A few of our sources talk about people playing a game called the King of Saturnalia, where a king was chosen by chance who was then allowed to boss you around during the entire festival. Several sources also describe gift giving during Saturnalia, giving gifts
there you go,
like clothes, food, or money, but also crazier gifts like pet birds and puppies, like the Roman poet Martial mentions. But the ultimate example of breaking social norms during the Saturnalia was the role reversal between enslaved people and their enslavers. Remember, Rome was a slave-owning society. Some scholars
looks like some curly hair to me. That looks like some woolly hair to me.
Estimate that anywhere between 10 to 40% of the population were enslaved. Upper-class Romans enslaved anywhere between a handful of people to dozens and dozens of them. Slaves in Roman society did the farming, the cooking and cleaning, the entertainment like music and comedy.
Sound familiar? Let's roll that back. All right, let's roll that back.
Dozens and dozens of them. Slaves in Roman society did the farming, the cooking and cleaning, the entertainment like music and comedy. But
who are the best musicians and comedians right now? Jake. All right? And you got these fucking Edomite Romans, all right, that are currently in rulership, all right? Because that's who the Romans were Edomites, all right? And all their cultures, all of their rules and their laws that they like, all of their, celebrations come back, man, all right? So they had, and you think of slave, lie to you, Jake, you think of slave as just, bend over, getting whipped in the back, all right, with a whip, all right, picking cotton. But hey, man, it's much more than that, all right? There's much more slavery than that, all right? We're currently in slavery currently, all right? And you think, oh, slavery end. No, they pulled a fucking rouge on you, man. All right? Roman society, Roman society, I think he speaks about it, all right? You couldn't even tell who the slaves were, all right? They looked like regular people, all right? They weren't in chains, all right? They weren't walking around in chains with, So, hey, they were still in slavery. What were they doing? Hey, entertainment, all right? Entertainment, all right? Comedians, okay? Musicians. So, hey, man, and if you think, let's look one thing up, all right? Roman coin. Now, I'm going to show you something. If you don't think it's too fucking similar, all right? So here you go. On the front of the coin, there was always, a face of a Roman, all right? And look at it. Just look at this, man. Here, let's go. Let's go over here. There you go. There's a quarter. All right. Look, right around the edge, they got writing. Right around the edge, they got writing. Okay. Let's go over. And look at how it looked in 1894. Look at that. Even more so, man. Even more. Look, they even got the same fucking noses. Look at this. Let's go down here. You see ones like this. All right. And most notable is they used eagles. All right. They had some with eagles, but just like they don't all have, just like ours. No, not ours, but in America, I mean. The currency that we use doesn't have always eagles on it. Sometimes it has, like down here you see, sometimes it's got like weird figures and stuff. And check this out, man. Let's go. There's one I saw. Look at this. Look at that. Come on, man. Come on. It's plain. It's very plain. All right, and look, they got there's one that was like alarmingly similar. Let me see if I could find it. I just saw it a minute ago. Let's see. We can go down and see, just look, stuff like this. And then you have stuff like the backing right here. And the way they put things together, man. Look. I don't care if they're, just random women or whatever, here, let's look up Roman coin eagle. Let's go to here. There you go, man. They're even looking in the same direction, man. So hey, it's look. It's plain, but hey, the only difference is, I guess, this one's different. I guess a lot of their generals and leaders faced right instead of left. All right, on the coins for the most part, but there you go, man. You don't need any more. Look. We're in Rome again, man. Everything's the fucking same. Guess what? Fast food, they had it in Rome too. Guess what? Men dressing as women and women dressing as men, they had it at Rome too. Everything's the same. Let's continue with the video.
But they also had specialized professions like medicine and accounting.
There you go.
Slaves are considered part of the upper-class Romans' familia. which, despite its similarity to the English word family, is probably best translated as household. The male head of the household was called the pater familias, a divinely ordained ruler over his wife and children, as well as his slaves and their children. So, even though Saturnalia had public religious elements like that mass public sacrifice at the Temple of Saturn, at its heart, Saturnalia was a domestic religious holiday specifically designed to upend what was considered the divinely ordained natural order of society. Our sources describe that during Saturnalia, slaves were allowed to dine with their slave owners, boss them around, and even talk back to them without
You'll
being
find out this
punished.
is bullshit in a
The
minute.
historian Justin specifically says that slaves and slave owners reclined together. Reclining was a position associated with elite banqueting, and it appears everywhere in Roman art depicting fancy banquets. This role reversal
Probably
was
orgies
the
as
reason
well.
for the season as far as the upper-class Roman was concerned. Now, we don't actually know the historical origins of Saturnalia. It may have originated as an agricultural holiday to accompany the winter solstice in late December. But most of our Roman sources say it originated in the mythic past, during a golden age when Saturn ruled Italy as a king and no slavery existed. Justin describes Saturn's reign as a reign of such equality that no one was a slave in his reign or had any private property. Macrobius writes, the period of Saturn's reign is said to have been immensely happy because no one was yet distinguished by servitude or freedom. But it's kind of ironic that they point to a golden age when slavery didn't exist, when the holiday itself probably served to reinforce the institution of slavery.
Because Esau can't even get their own fucking stories together, man.
And Fanny Delansky suggests that Saturnalia was a form of social control, a sort of social safety valve to let slaves vent aggression, but also to remind them who truly is in charge. All of this was role play after all, right? There was a limit to how much role reversal was permitted, and some of our sources suggest that slave owners bent the rules all the time. Some would serve their slaves during the holiday but refuse to dine together. Others say that Roman children served the slaves, but not the upper-class adults. And Macrobius says that only religiously observant households participated, and even then the slaves dined first and then the slave owners, not at the same time. And perhaps most tellingly, Seneca basically gives the game away when he mentions that he wouldn't let any slave dine at his table, only the ones that deserve it. Life
There you go. Oh, let's see what it says.
was not good as a Roman slave. Martial darkly jokes about beating his cook for ruining his meal. Seneca talks about slaves serving their slave owners dinner while they themselves stood by hungry. So this is what I mean by taking our sources with a healthy dose of skepticism. Catullus, who was born into one of the most prominent families in the Roman Empire, called Saturnalia optimo dierum, the best of days. But Epictetus, who himself was a former slave, seems a little more cynical, basically saying, sure, you can call a free man a slave on Saturnalia, but a true master is whoever has the power of bestowing or of taking away any of the things he desires.
There you go. Check that out. Whoever has the power of bestowing or taking away any of the things he desires. All right. So, and that, who is that right now? we're the slave. All right. We're the slave. Because guess what? Esau, everything, man. Your house, your car, your children, your wife, your clothes, anything that you got, man. Anything that you've got. All right. They can bestow or take away any of those things. They could give you $1 million. They can take $1 million away. They can give you a brand new car. They can take your car away. All right. So let's hear what he said again. All right, because I remember when I was watching that was deep. All right.
Sure, you can call a free man a slave on Saturnalia, but a true master is whoever has the power of bestowing or of taking away any of the things he desires. There was an artificial side to Saturnalia that we can only glimpse because Roman history was not written by the slaves. It was written by the super rich slave owners like Pliny and Seneca.
Just
But
as it is
I
now.
want to turn to the question of Christmas.
Just as it is now, man, with the Columbus and everything. Oh, he came over. No. But when we get the real shit about what happened, all right, then they don't want to hear nothing about it. I don't want to hear nothing about it. All right.
What relation, if any, did Saturnalia have on the establishment of Christmas? After all, most Christians
There'd be a lot of
celebrated on
bullshit
December
here, but
25th.
you know we can
The
wade
Romans,
through
on
it.
the other hand, celebrated Saturnalia between December 17th and 23rd.
It doesn't matter. It was still in the same December, span. Okay? Saturnalia was celebrated in December. At the end of December, Christmas is celebrated at the end of December.
And there's some evidence that December 25th, the winter solstice, according to the Julian calendar, was marked as the feast and birthday of the sun god Sol Invictus.
There you go. That's who it was, all right? The birth of the so-called sun god Sol Invictus, December 25th, all right? Not it was Jesus Christ's birthday. No, nuh-uh. His name's not Jesus Christ, all right? His name's Yahushai, all right? And he wasn't born anywhere near this time, all right? Wasn't born anywhere near this time, all right? So, hey, we know he was born towards the time of the Passover, which will be around, springish time area, all right?
The dates seem way too convenient to be a coincidence.
And he's gonna bullshit it up. So, hey, like I said, we got to pick out the bones.
Well, there are two prevailing and possibly overlapping theories: the Christianization theory and the calculation theory.
And the Christianization theory is actually what happened, but he's gonna say, that's not what happened. I think the calculation. Christianization is what happened to it.
The Christianization theory goes that Christian authorities picked December 25th specifically to convert a season of pagan holidays into Christian holidays.
That's what happened, but they kept it pagan, all right? They just put their name on it.
People already were celebrating in late December, and these cultural habits are too deeply entrenched to change that easily. So let's slap a new Christian name on it. The Christianization theory is certainly possible. Later sources such as Pope Gregory the Great encouraged the Christian authorities to convert pagan temples into churches and pagan holidays into Christian holidays.
See? All right, so you could have a whole holiday of debauchery, and this is for the sun god Sol Invictus, or this is for Saturn. All right, this is for Saturn, and then like, no, it's not. It's for Christ. All right, and then move on. Everything's the same. Everything's the same, man. Everything's the same. You can't just do that. All right, you can't just take a pizza and call it a steak. You can't. It's not something you can fucking do, man. It's still a pizza. You can call it a steak all you want, but it's still a pizza, man. Everybody can see it's pizza. So you can call it Christmas or Easter or whatever you want. But we know. Hey, Christmas goes back to Saturnalia. All right, and Easter goes back to I can't remember exactly what it's called. All right, we can find it out. Easter pagan origin. What's the name of it? Yeah. Let's see. Festival of Easter. All right. Yep. Where's it at? Let's find it one. It said about it. So West Germanic spring goddess. So there you go. All right. Theories connecting Easter with Germanic Easter customs, including hares and eggs, have been proposed. Okay, so hey, it's a bunch of shit. It's a bunch of shit. Okay, so that's what they did. They just converted a bunch. All right, and those people that were so-called Christians weren't even Christians anyway. All right, they weren't they were worshiping false Christs. All right.
Problem is, when it comes to Christmas, this theory is based on educated conjecture, not direct evidence. No Christian source from the Roman period specifically mentions Christianizing December 25th for the purpose of celebrating Jesus' birth. Only hundreds of years later, in the early 12th century, do we get the first explicit reference to Christianizing December 25th. This comes from a Syriac writer named Dionysius Barsalibi. Plus, the December 25th date for Sol Invictus is based on only one source. It comes from a Christian calendar dating to 354, which makes a passing reference to December 25th being the birthday of Sol Invictus. This is one single source, written decades after when the Sol Invictus birthday was supposedly instituted. Compare this to my earlier list of Saturnalia sources. Bunches and bunches of ancient texts from contemporaries who actually celebrated Saturnalia themselves. These include detailed descriptions of the gifts that were given and the games that were played, We don't have anything approaching that level of detail for the December 25th Sol Invictus festival. That's not to deny that pagans were celebrating on this day. I'm sure that they were. But according to the ancient historian Philip Nothaft, the lack of evidence raises the question whether the birthday of Sol Invictus celebrations on December 25th were really so ancient, widespread, and momentous as to exert a strong influence on Christian communities. So I'd say that it's plausible that there was some religious competition over converting celebrations of December 25th
No coincidence, man. They're the same damn
Christian
thing.
celebrations. But the evidence isn't as concrete as many would lead you to believe. Again, educated conjecture, not direct evidence. This leads us to the second prevailing theory, the calculation theory, which hypothesizes that many early Christians believed Jesus was conceived and crucified on the same day, March 25th or April 6th, depending on how you calculate it. Therefore, they dated Jesus' birth to December 25th or January 6th because these dates are exactly 9 months later. I'm drawing a lot of this research from 2 peer-reviewed articles by scholars of early Christianity, which cover the calculation theory pretty thoroughly. So I
Christians
really
ain't gonna get
recommend
nothing
you read
right.
them to get the full picture. Links are in the
All right.
description below. I cover this in...
I got the spring part right, but hey, most people don't believe it's spring because what are they doing? They're celebrating Christmas, which is supposedly the birth of Christ. So hey, man, it's all over the place.
Another video too if you want to check it out. This theory may sound a bit weird, but a lot of our Christian sources back it up. A 4th century Christian text called On Solstices and Equinoxes says, "Therefore our Lord was conceived on March 25th, which is the day of the Passion of the Lord and of his conception." The Gospels say nothing about when Jesus was born, but they do mention when he died, on or near the Passover during the spring. Christians spent a ton of time trying to calculate the exact date, even though it's probably impossible to figure that out. And 2 dates seem to pop up again and again, March 25th and April 6th. Julius Africanus, a 3rd century Christian historian, seems to have dated Jesus' conception to March 25th. Same with Hippolytus, another Christian chronographer writing around the same time, but other Christians calculated to April 6th. I don't think it's a coincidence that these 2 dates come exactly 9 months after the 2 dominant dates that Christians calculated as his crucifixion. January 6th was celebrated mostly in Egypt and Asia, but eventually lost out to December 25th in popularity. But even to this day, the Armenian Orthodox Church continues to celebrate on January 6th. I'm convinced by the calculation theory because it explains why 2 different dates, December 25th and January 6th, became the 2 dominant dates. The January 6th date seems so much more random without this explanation, because it's nowhere near the Saturnalia or Sol Invictus festivals to blame any attempt to Christianize those holidays.
So we're just gonna cut that off there. So hey, man, no, it was they were definitely Christianized. All right, you can tell by the gift giving and everything. They're the same fucking thing. All right. So here's this. All right, and this is the history of so-called Christmas sex. I brought this up for one reason. All right, for this top article right here. These are what really, some of the things I just want to grab because the video didn't touch on the orgies that went down. Romans Gone Wild says, for the Romans, 1 week at the end of December was reserved for merrymaking. From the 17th to the 23rd December every year, the festival of Saturnalia celebrated the god Saturn, false god Saturn. There are many similarities between Saturnalia and Christmas, and that's no coincidence, including using boughs of holly as decoration, giving gifts, and feasting. Like the office Christmas party at the end of productive year needed the end of a productive year needed to be celebrated in a suitable style. The strict class divisions and stresses of being at the center of the ancient world was tiring. Frustration was built up. Saturnalia was a perfect opportunity to blow off some steam. At the end of the year, Rome was a place to party. Social norms went out the window as the city took on a carnivalesque atmosphere. Excessive drinking, feasting, cross-dressing, and orgies were commonplace. Okay, the Roman poet Martial published during the Saturnalia as he felt that the liberal spirit caused by the festival made the licentious nature of many of his epigrams permissible. For 1 week, slaves wore pointy hats to signify them as recently made freedmen so they could partake in the same salacious behavior as their masters. But no number of pointy hats were going to convince Christian Roman Emperor Theodosius the First to let the festivities of Saturnalia continue. Between 389 and 391 AD, he issued the Theodosian decrees banning all pagan activities. Christian monotheism and monogamy was here to stay. All right. So there you go. All right. But we don't need to go and talking about, any more of that. All right. So all you need to know is that, I grabbed that article because that's what was going down. Cross-dressing and orgies. All right. And that's Roman right there. All right. So you got Saturnalia. This is the Wikipedia article. All right. Talks about Saturnalia is an ancient Roman festival and holiday in honor to the sun god Saturn, sun god, all right, false god, held on the 17th December of the Julian calendar and later expanded with festivities through to the 23rd of December. The holiday was celebrated with a sacrifice at the Temple of Saturn in the Roman Forum and a public banquet, followed by private gift-giving, continual partying, a carnival atmosphere, and overturned Roman social norms. Gambling was permitted, and masters provided the table service for their slaves, and that really didn't happen. It says, blah, 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 says the gifts exchanged were usually gag gifts or small figurines made of wax or pottery known as sigillaria. The poet Cataclys called it the best of days. All right, and what do you hear, people say, all the songs that they sing, it's beginning to look a lot like Christmas, and what is that song? It's the most wonderful time of the year. All right, the best of days, the most wonderful time of the year. So, hey, man, these fucking people, they think they got it slick. All right, and here you go. This is Sol Invictus. All right, who was born. Let's see. In traditional views, Sol Invictus was the second of two entirely different sun gods in Rome. First of these, Sol Indigues, or Sol, was an early Roman deity of minor importance whose cult had petered out by the 1st century A.D. Sol Invictus, on the other hand, was a Syrian sun god whose cult was first promoted in Rome under Elagabalus without success. Some 50 years later, on 25th of December, the Roman Emperor Aurelian did succeed to establish the cult of Sol Invictus as an official religion alongside the traditional Roman cults. All right, so on December 25th, that's what they say. All right, let's see, December 25th. Let's see. The same Philocatian calendar part. What is that? 13? 8. All right, 8. Also mentions the birth of Jesus Christ. All right, stating that the Lord Jesus Christ was born 8 days before the calends of January. That is on December 25th. So it's all over the place, and and I'm saying Jesus because I don't even want to associate Yahushua with this. All right, I'll just use the worldly their bullshit thing because that's where all this comes in. All right, with these Christians and Jesus. All right, I'm not associating Yahushua with this. This is wicked. This is a wicked thing. All right. So there you go. Down here it says, according to some historians, Christmas was set to December 25th because the date of the festival of Sol Invictus idea become popular, especially in the 18th and 19th centuries. All right, and that's exactly what it is, man. That's exactly what it is. All right. If you go over here, solstice date hypothesis, history of religions hypothesis. We've got that mostly in that video. All right. It was a custom of the pagans to celebrate on the same 25th December of the birthday of the sun. All right, which they kindled lights in token of the festivity. All right. The Christians also took part. All right. When doctors of the church perceived that Christians had a leaning to this festival, they took counsel and resolved that the true nativity should be solemnized that day. So they just had Christians that wanted to celebrate, here they were, so-called Christians, all right, and this wasn't, that wasn't real true Christianity. All right, that was that Roman Christianity that they tried to pass. That's when white Jesus started getting formed. All right, so there you go. It's they think they got one, but they're basically celebrating, all right, a holiday that was wicked. And they said, well, let's just go ahead and just call it Christmas then, okay? And you can just we can just have it as ours, all right, even though it's worshiping of Sol Invictus, all right, and Saturn, all right, and all this wicked shit, okay? So there you go, all right? Another thing, quick little hint, Sol Invictus, if you look him up, it looks very similar to something, all right? Look at this. You see you see something that seems very familiar here? You should be able to. You see that? Check this out. They look damn near identical, man. There you go. It's a very Roman-looking statue as well, man. So we are in Rome again. All right. There you go. All right, we're under the rulership of these fucking Romans. All right, so let's look at Bromelia. All right. Now, okay, let's go with that. Now, Bromelia. All right. Is a, what does it say? It's a winter. Bromelia were a winter that should be was winter solstice festival celebrated in the eastern part of Roman Empire. All right, so there you go. So you know, winter solstice. Let's see. Winter solstice dates. Alright, there you go. Starts on the 21st. Alright. That's when it starts. Alright. It's gonna say it only lasts a little. Alright, but whatever. No, that's what it is. It says, let's see what they did there, though. I believe this is the one. Let's see. This is the one with mistletoe. Yeah, we can go down here with mistletoe. All right, here's the thing, and you know that's another thing I think we just brought up, just because you know winter solstice. All right. So they got a grape harvest. All right, so but anyway, so there you go, another holiday that pops up. Mistletoe. Alright, we're just grabbing a few things to link it up, man, because it should be already playing by now, but new thing. Let's grab this, the surprising origins of the Christmas carols. Alright, if you go down... What was the first Christmas carol? It's generally accepted that the first Christmas carols ever to be recorded was the 129 AD Angel's Hymn. Around this time, Christianity-themed hymns started taking over the previously pagan songs celebrating the winter solstice. All right, there we go. We don't really need more of that. All right, let's see if there's anything else. And we can get it, you know, quick. Christmas carol origin. And that's how this came from. It says, they fucking changed it. It was just here a couple days, mentioned paganism. Alright. Pre-Christian pagan tribes who have given us many of our Christmas traditions would sing in songs while dancing in a circle in the time of winter. There was one that said it was singing about like Pagans and Romans. There you go. Dance around stone. Usually singing about their false gods. So there you go, man. There you go. Now, mistletoe. Mistletoe. Right here. You guys love some mistletoe, don't you? Alright? You love you some mistletoe. And some holly. Okay? So, that's all Christmassy. Where does this come from? Let's go down. Okay? Mistletoe is relevant to several cultures. Pagan cultures regarded the white berries as symbols of male fertility and the seeds resembling semen. The Celts particularly saw mistletoe as the semen of Tyrannus, while the ancient Greeks referred to mistletoe as oak sperm. Also in Roman mythology, mistletoe was used by the hero Aeneas to reach the underworld. Let's see. The Romans associated mistletoe with peace, love, and understanding and hung it over the doorways to protect their household. Ooh. There you go. Let's see. And you know, that's what they do. They hung it over. That's exactly what they do now, man, with mistletoe. Okay? Holly. All right. Let's see. Just gonna tell you. Let me see. Let's see. Holly, Saturnalia, because that's where it comes from. Leaves of pagan druid believed that the leaves of holly were sacred and offered protection against evil spirits. Or was it Sol Invictus? Let's see. It was here, alright? And I fucking was shit. But either way, you don't really need holly, because we got mistletoe. Alright, we proved that mistletoe is a thing. Oh, here it is. The holly and the ivy. Alright, never mind, I had it up. Duh. Alright, the holly and the ivy. Alright, the Romans also believed that the holly and ivy plants held importance, as holly was a sacred plant of one of their gods, Saturn. Okay, Saturn. And because this was used at the Feast of Saturnalia, to honor him, Saturnalia was the celebration of the last harvest and the sowing of a new autumn crop. And it was where informal clothing could be worn, aka cross-dressing. Gambling was allowed in public, children were allowed out of school, and were given gifts by adults. Wild behavior was accepted, and slaves could act disrespectfully to their masters. Alright, holly and ivy garlands and wreaths were given as gifts, as they were believed to be gifts that inspired luck and good fortune. Alright, especially if subsequently used to adorn effigies of the god, the false god. We don't really need to read any more of that. You should be able to see, man. You should be able to see. Everything's adding up. All right, this isn't Christmas. This is Saturnalia. All right, it's a pagan holiday, and you people are going to be put to death for celebrating. There's a lot of people already dying, man. There's a lot of people already dying, freezing to death, all right, out there in those cold temperatures, all right? So, hey, this is Jeremiah 10:1 through 10:5, once again, all right? And, you know, let's go ahead and get... There you go. Let's try to find one that's more, you know. Let's try to find one here. I can't remember that stuff, you know. It's that silver and gold stuff. Tinsel. There you go. Classic tinsel tree. Alright, as they call it. There's like that weird ribbon that goes around it. I can't remember exactly, you know. That stuff. There it is. I just saw it. This shit. What do you call that stuff? It's silver garland, alright? Silver. So there you go, alright? And what's that famous song that they have? Silver and gold, alright? And I'm not going to even dare play it because, you know, and what does it say? What's the lyric? Silver and gold, everyone wishes for silver and gold. Alright? So there you go. Silver and gold decorations on every Christmas tree. Alright? Jeremiah 10:1 through 10:5. Hear ye the word which the Lord speaketh unto you, O house of Israel. Again, as we said in the beginning of the lesson, so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. Thus saith the Lord, learn not the way of the heathen, and be not dismayed at the signs of heaven, for the heathen are dismayed at them. For the cousins of people are vain. For one cutteth a tree out of the forest, the works of the hands of the work of the hands of the workmen with the axe. They deck it with silver and gold. They fasten it with nails and with hammers, that it move not. And now what do? You have the those little let's see, Christmas tree base. Those things that you screw in. These things. Christmas tree stands. Alright? Why? So it doesn't move. Alright? So it doesn't move. They deck it with silver and gold. They fasten it with nails and with hammers, that it move not. They are upright as the palm tree, but speak not. They must needs be born, because they cannot go. Be not afraid of them, for they cannot do evil. Neither is it in them to do good. All right. So hey, that's what you people are doing, man. That's what you people are doing. All right. And we've talked about how it went back to Sol Invictus and Sol and Saturn. All right, and all these other false gods. All right. But here you fucking simple Jakes are wanting to still celebrate the shit. All right. And that's what it is. It's shit. All right, it's a shitty holiday. All right, you're celebrating a holiday where people would dress up as men would dress up as women, and women would dress up as men, and they'd have fucking orgies, man. Come on now. Well, it's not that now. It's for the children. We give gifts to the children. Yeah, they gave gifts to the children too during Saturnalia. All right, you fucking Romans. All right, and you Jakes, you fucking stupid ass Jakes. All right, that are celebrating the shit still. Oh, it's just for the children, brother. Congratulations, you're gonna be put to death over your children. All right. Jeremiah 25:6 through 25:9. Go not after other gods to serve them and to worship them, and provoke me not to anger with the works of your hands, and I will do you no hurt. All right. So don't go after other gods and serve them. Who are you supposed to be serving, Jake? Yahweh Ba'Hashem Yahushai. That's who. All right. The true name of the Father and the Son. All right. Not God and Jesus Christ. All right. The Father's name is Yahweh, and the Son's name is Yahushai. When you call on them, you say Yahweh Ba'Hashem Yahushai, okay, which means the Father in the name of the Son. Okay? That's who you're supposed to be going after. That's who you're supposed to be worshiping, not Sol or Sol Invictus or Saturn or Buddha or all these other fake or Jesus Christ, all right? All these fake gods, man. All right? What did it say? It said, and go not after other gods to serve them and to worship them, and provoke me not to anger with the works of your hands, and I will do you no hurt. All right, but no, you provoke the Lord to anger. That's what you do, Jake. This is what happens. Yet you have not hearkened unto me, saith the Lord, that you might provoke me to anger with the works of your hands to your own hurt. Therefore, thus saith the Lord of hosts, because you have not heard my words, behold, I will send and take all the families of the north, saith the Lord, and the Nebuchadnezzar, the king of Babylon, my servant, and I will bring them against this land, and against the inhabitants thereof, and against all these nations round about, and will utterly destroy them, and make them an astonishment, and a hissing, and a perpetual desolation. So that's what's going to happen to you people, man. All right? And that's what's going to happen to you now, all right? You had the king of Babylon, now we have another king of Babylon, a new Babylon, all right? And now what's going to happen, all right? You got the Edomites coming crashing down on you, all right? All the nations round about and utterly destroy you, Jake, all right? And it'll make you an astonishment, all right? And a hissing and a perpetual desolation, all right? And look at your state, Jake. You're going to be fucked up. But, hey, you're not going to listen, All right, you're going to continue on to your death because you're a fucking idiot. All right, that's how a lot of our people are. They're dumb. All right. Here it is. This is Hosea 4:6. My people are destroyed for lack of knowledge. Because thou hast rejected knowledge, I will also reject thee, and thou shalt be no priest to me, seeing that thou hast forgotten the law of thy power. I will also forget thy children. All right, and thy children, your same people. All right, you're coming back. All right, through the line of your fathers. All right, so you're going to be forgotten. All right, you're going to be forgotten. Okay, and our people are destroyed for lack of knowledge because you can bring this to them, and a lot of them they still aren't going to heed. They aren't going to care. They're not going to listen. They're still going to open their presents. All right, they're still going to have a Christmas ham. All right, they're still going to do all this shit. All right, hey, when you get put to death, your mother's going to say, "Oh, he was a good child." No, he wasn't. He celebrated wicked pagan holidays. All right, well, there's nothing wrong with it. Yes, there is something wrong with that. All right, there's something wrong with it. Okay, and the Lord's going to put a lot of you to death, and the Lord's already put a lot of you to death. All right. The days coming up to Christmas, the days coming up to Christmas, all right, the day of Christmas, all right, a lot of people blow out their fucking brains, all right, on Christmas, a lot of deaths on Christmas Eve. Let's see, dead. Let's just look up dead. Let's look up news. Married couple dead in apparent murder-suicide outside their former Jehovah's Witness congregation. Police say. When was this? Was this today? Murder-suicide. I'd assume it's today. All right, updated on December 25th. All right, what else do we got? 2 dead. Jehovah's Witness Center. So, yeah, there you go. Let's see. Yep. Husband shoots wife dead before turning the gun on himself in Christmas Day murder-suicide. There you go. And this is all it's going to talk about. We have other stuff. Jesus, does there need to be this many articles about it? Man, come on now. That's all there is for dead? Just that's it? That's it? Now if we go back and we hit dead. Or killed. Okay, we got at least 24 dead in cold weather over Christmas weekend. Alright? I'm going to save that, perhaps. Alright? Bear with me, actually. Bear with me. I'm going to bring that up on my phone because I have another article. It's like that. Alright. I got that. Sock you. I might do a lesson on that because that can be... There's a lesson coming. Alright. Lord willing. Probably tomorrow. About the judgment that went on because, hey, people don't listen. All right, so you got, people found dead and all this, right? There you go. 6 hours ago, man shot dead in his vehicle in Hawthorne. All right, Saturday evening. All right, so Saturday, that would have been Christmas Eve. All right, there you go. Bunch of people dying. All right, bunch of people dying. All right. So, hey, there you go. Amos 5:21 through 5:24. All right, and because you didn't want to listen to the Lord. All right, all of you people. All right, you Jacob be put to death. All right, but you other heathen nations gonna be put to death too. Don't think that we're not under the law. We're exempt. No, you're not. You're still gonna be put to death. You're still gonna be put to death. All right, mass scales. And all of you are getting wiped out at the end of the day. All right, all of you are getting wiped out. All right, when Yahweh Shai returns. All right. To save his elect, all right, and to burn this place to the ground, all right, none of you are making it, okay? You heathens, none of you are making it, not even a one of you, all right? You're not going to make it, all right? Well, there will be some that make it, per se, but you're going to be put into slavery right off the bat, okay? So you're not going to make it as an escape, all right? This is Amos 5:21 through 5:24. I despise your feast days, and I will not smell in your solemn assemblies. Though you offer me burnt offerings and your meat offerings, I will not accept them, neither will I regard the peace offerings of your fat beasts. Take thou away from me the noise of thy songs, for I will not hear the melody of thy viols. But let judgment run down as waters, and righteousness as a mighty stream. The Lord ain't dealing with you and your feast day. Well, the Lord's with us on Christmas. No, he's not. What? Who's Christmas for? Well, Jesus Christ. Yeah, his name's not Jesus Christ. He's not with you, all right? Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai is not with you, all right? Jesus Christ can be with you all he wants, all right? Congratulations. There you go. Worship your false fucking faggoty God, Jesus, all right? And continue on in your death, all right? We'll continue worshiping the true power, all right? The Father and the Son, Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai, that's mentioned within the Bible, all right? That the name's been changed on, all right? There's no J's in Hebrew, all right? In original Hebrew. All right, we're going to continue worshiping who we worship. Go ahead and continue doing yours, all right? And see how it works. Here, you know, we got another scripture for that. Call on the gods that you have chosen. God. Judges 10 and 14. Go and cry unto the gods which you have chosen. Let them deliver you in the time of your tribulation. All right, so A. Why? Let's go 13. Judges 10 and 13. Yet ye have forsaken me and served other gods. Wherefore I will deliver you no more. Go and cry unto the gods which you have chosen. Let them deliver you in your time of tribulation, in the time of your tribulation. All right? You want to go and worship Jesus Christ and Sol Invictus and Saturn and all this bullshit? Go ahead. All right? And when shit hits the fan, all right, which is coming very soon, 2023 is going to be one hell of a year. All right, you saw how 2021 got worse. You saw how 2022 got worse. 2023 on par to be worse. Okay? It's been progressively getting worse year after year after year. Okay? And hey, you know, it's looking like it's the year that, you know, they're going to officially, you know, establish the M to the O to the T to the B. Shit's about to get bad, man. All right? Shit's about to get bad. All right? We ain't got too much longer, right? If not this year, within the next few years, man. It ain't looking good. All right? It's looking good, but it ain't looking good. It's looking good for us. A little frightening, of course. Even the elect will be afraid in those days. All right? But of course, we have to build our spirits up. All right? But for you, it's really not looking good. All right? It's not. You don't have nothing to look forward but death and destruction. All right? The elect has something to look forward to, and Lord willing, we're part of that number of the elect, all right? I myself, as well as you brothers and sisters, all right, that watch these videos diligently, in truth and all in sincerity, all right? So, hey, man, go ahead and call on Jesus. I'm worshiping Jesus Christ. Go ahead, all right? We've told you not to, but you don't want to listen. Go ahead, all right? See if Jesus Christ is going to help you at the end of the day, all right? See if he's going to help you. See if he's going to deliver you. All right, because here's a spoiler alert. He's not, all right, because why? He doesn't exist, all right? Jesus is dead, man, all right? Well, he could technically be back, all right, technically, all right, because Jesus, who you know, that you worship is Jesus, all right? Cesare Borgia, all right? Show you a picture of him. Or Borgia, all right, this guy. And they change his image all the time, man. No. The image we want to see is this one. That's the one, all right? The one that looks just like Jesus Christ, coincidentally, all right? Then he was the Pope's son, coincidentally, all right? So there you go, man. All right? There you go. There you go. Yeah, there you go. And Yahushai, all right, is a so-called black man. Okay, doesn't look anything like this. But this guy, I said he's dead. Well, this guy died. All right, but he's more than likely back. All right, through reincarnation. All right. So, or if he died recently, he's not. All right, he could be. He could not be. All right, but he came back after this. All right. But whoever it is, all right, this guy Caesar Borgia, all right, is dead. Okay, he died. All right, let's see. When did he die? What year? In 1507. All right, and that's who you're worshiping. He's dead, man. Okay, he's done. All right. Now Yahushai is still very much around. Okay, Yahweh, all right, the Father, very much still around. Okay, and so you'll be tasting of their judgment. All right, you'll be tasting of their judgment. All right. And you Jakes will too, unless you repent. This is Colossians 2:8. Beware, lest any man spoil you through philosophy and vain deceit, after the tradition of men, after the rudiments of the world, and not after Hamashiach. Let's get the Blue Letter Bible. No, not the Blue Letter. Let's get the Good News Translation. Let's see what it says. See to it that no one enslaves you by means of worthless deceit of human wisdom, which comes from the teachings handed down by human beings and from the ruling spirits of the universe, and not from the anointed, all right, or Mashiach. Okay, there you go. And that's this Saturnalia thing that's handed down by humans. We gotta celebrate this. Look, the Roman text. You gotta celebrate. Yeah, hey, ain't gonna be pretty for you. It's Exodus 23:2. Well, hey, bro, I'm just doing it because I'm over at my mama's house, or I'm at, so and so's, and so I just, figured, I ain't usually like it, but I figured to get him some presents. I'm gonna wrap him up, and I'm gonna do all these things, No, you shouldn't follow a multitude to do evil, all right, and you shouldn't. Exodus 23:2. Thou shalt not follow a multitude to do evil. Neither shalt thou speak in a cause to decline after many to wrest judgment. All right, and there's things we have to repent for. All right, there's times there's times things that we've done in the past. All right, that we're not proud of. All right, when I was still fresh in this truth, I was guilty of giving a gift. All right, because I felt like I didn't go down there and do nothing, but I was like, oh well, they're giving me something, I have to give them something back. All right, so hey, you shouldn't follow a multitude of evil. That was wrong on my part. All right, you don't want to do wrong things. Okay, you don't want to do wrong things. All right, and when you do those things, you have to repent, man. All right, and that doesn't mean you can do it and then repent and then go back to it. All right, but when you learn, all right, when you get, there's gonna be times you mess up if you don't have the full understanding. All right, so that's why it's important to get this full understanding, man. Okay. It's very important to get this full understanding. So you shouldn't follow a multitude of evil just because Big Mama's celebrating Christmas, or because your brother's celebrating Christmas, or your 32 cousins is celebrating Christmas. All right, it don't matter. All right, you shouldn't follow a multitude of evil just because they do it. You're gonna do it too. All right. Thou shalt not follow a multitude to do evil, neither shalt thou speak in a cause to decline after many to wrest judgment. All right. So there you go. Don't follow them just because they're doing it. Okay. Now, if you're over there and they say, "Hey, man, we got some turkey going. You want some turkey?" Or, "Hey, man, we got some anything that's not abominable, of course." They say, "Hey, man, you want some steak? We got some steak going. All right, we got some steak and some eggnog. All right." And I won't mention eggnog because you got to make sure that eggnog sometimes it's not cooked egg and you don't want to be eating that, but some have cooked egg in it. All right, I won't use eggnog, but hey, man, you want some steak and wine? All right, you can eat the steak and wine, man. All right, you're allowed to. This is 1 Corinthians 10:27, 10:31. If any of them that believe not, all right, when you're family members that aren't in this truth, they don't believe, all right, bid you to a feast, and ye be disposed to go, whatsoever is set before you, eat, asking no question for conscience sake. All right, just eat it. You're fine, man. But if any man say unto you, this is offered and sacrificed unto idols, eat not for his sake that showed it, and for conscience sake, for the earth is the Lord and the fullness thereof. Conscience, I say, not thine own, but of the other. For why is my liberty judged of another man's conscience? For if I by grace be a partaker, why am I evil spoken of for that which I give thanks? Whether therefore ye eat or drink, or whatsoever you do all for the glory of the Most High. All right, so whatever food they give you, if they're praying, step out the room, like Street Teacher says, act like you got to go to the bath, say, I'm gonna relieve myself, or I'm gonna step out. All right, you don't have to say you're gonna, you gotta go to the bathroom. If you gotta go to the bathroom, that'd be a good time. But if you don't have to go to the bathroom, you don't want to lie and say you have to. Just say, I'm gonna excuse myself to the bathroom real quick, because you're not lying. You're gonna excuse yourself to the bathroom. All right, they'll assume that you have to use the restroom. Okay, and sometimes they might, we'll wait for you, and so, you do it. You gotta, kind of just gotta roll with it, man. All right, kind of just gotta roll with it. But hey, when you eat that food, you pray over it in the name of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. Okay. As you pray over all your food, okay, as you should be praying with all your food, Okay, this is Exodus 20 and 1 through 5. All right. And the Most High spake all these words, saying, I am the Lord thy power, which have brought thee out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of bondage. Thou shalt have no other gods before me. Okay? So you can't be worshiping Sol Invictus or any of this other bullshit. Thou shalt not make unto thee any graven image, or any likeness of anything that is in heaven above, or that is in the earth beneath, or as that is in the water under the earth. Thou shalt not bow down thyself to them, nor serve them. For I, the Lord, thy power, am a jealous I'm a jealous God, visiting the iniquity of the fathers upon their children unto the third and fourth generation of them that hate me. And why is that? Because we know we come back through reincarnation every third and fourth generation, all right, to 3 or 4 generations. Okay? So there you go. All right. In verse 4, what does it say? It says, Thou shalt not make thee any graven image, make unto thee any graven image, or any likeness of anything that is in heaven above, that or that is in the earth beneath, or that is in the water under the earth. And it says, Thou shalt not bow down thyself to them, nor serve them. For I, the Lord, thy power, am a jealous God, visiting iniquity of the fathers upon their children, the children unto the third and fourth generation of them that hate me. All right, so it speaks of bowing down and serving them. Let's get a Leviticus 26 and 1. Leviticus 26 and 1, as it reads, Ye shall make you no idols, nor graven image, neither rear ye up a standing image, neither shall ye set up any image of stone in your land to bow down unto it, for I am the Lord your power. All right? And it speaks of bowing down to idols. All right? Now, what is this person doing when you grab a present under the Christmas tree? You're bowing down to that tree. All right? You're worshiping that tree. All right? What does it mean let's go down here. What does it mean? It says, this is Leviticus 26 and 1. All right? You shall make you no idols, nor graven image, neither shall you rear up a standing image, neither shall you set up any image of stone in your land to bow down to it, for I am the Lord your power. All right, so let's get, let's see, they might go off on something. An idol, all right, so an graven image means of an idol, to rear you up. What does rear you up mean? All right, to arise, all right, to establish, all right, image of stone in your land, to bow down. All right, to bow down unto it. What does it mean, bow down? All right, to bow down. All right, to bow down, to prostrate oneself. Okay, before God in worship. All right. Well, it's speaking of false gods, or you call it call it God. Well, we don't worship the Christmas tree. You do though, because you bow down to it. All right. Bow down, to crouch. All right, to give reverence, to worship. All right, and that's what you're doing. All right, and it's a Nimrod tree. All right, and we're not gonna go all into that, man. But hey, that's exactly what you're doing when you go and get those presents, man. You're bowing down to an idol. That's an idol. You worship a tree, man. All right, you worship a tree. Okay, and there's topics about this is a Nimrod tree. I'm not gonna go into that. All right, because I'm not the best learned on that. Okay, so I don't want to give you any information that's incorrect. But you can look up GMS Nimrod tree. All right, you can look up Nimrod tree if you're well grounded. You can look up Nimrod tree and find sources for that. All right, as far to my ability, all I know about it is that apparently, when Nimrod died, it's said that an evergreen tree arose in his place. All right, and it was worshipped. All right, and here it is, evergreen tree. All right, pine tree, whatever you want to call it. All right, a tree that looks just like this. Okay, fir. Okay, multiple different trees, that have the similar shape. Okay, but hey, there you go, man. So that's what you're doing when you're doing this. All right, and there's your fake, Santa, the fucking devil. All right, when you're doing this, what are you doing? You're bowing down before a tree. All right, and it's said you're not supposed to do that. So hey, you're worshiping Sol Invictus. All right, you're worshiping Sol. You're worshiping Saturn, all right, and you have the whole Yule thing too. All right, we didn't touch on Yule. We touched on Yule last year. Yule, same thing. Yule's strictly pagan. We can get that real quick. Yule, all right. It says scholars have connected the celebration with the wild hunt, the false god Odin, and the pagan Anglo-Saxon Mid-Ron-Hit, however you pronounce that. All right. What's the trees that you use? Evergreen conifers. All right? Evergreen conifers. Yeah, There you go. See, multiple different trees. That's what I was speaking of. You got the pine, the juniper, the cedar, the spruce, the fir. All right. So there you go. All right. All that. So we know, little touch on Yule. It's pagan. Stop doing it. All right. It's the same thing. It falls in the same category. False idol worship. All right. How do you know? It says it goes back to the celebration of the wild hunt, the false god Odin, the pagan Anglo-Saxon, whatever that word is. So there you go, man. There you go. When is Yule? 20th or 21st, so whatever, but there you go. All right, you've been instructed not to do so. All right, sometimes I do it before. Today I did it on the day of. All right, you should have known by now anyway, Israel, that you're not supposed to be doing this. All right, so hey, with that, hey, hope you got a little bit of more information on this bullshit holiday. All right, hey, Lord willing, maybe it'll be the last. All right, maybe it'll be the last of the Christmas holiday. Maybe there won't be another December. So, hey, we can only hope. All right, we can get out of here. But, hey, hopefully it was edifying. All right, Lord willing. All right, so that we're going to close out. Lucky. All right, with that we're going to close out. Once again, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to the Most High. Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakakwadash. I want to give double honors to the elders and apostles at Great Millstone. Shalom to you brothers and sisters out there. Keep enduring, keep the faith. Hey, we're almost out of here. Till next one, Lord willing. Shalom.